Alright, Hidden Hermit here. As you can see, I've got my black, dusty, wax-covered pentacle autocroft on here because today I'm going to be talking about the Five of Pentacles. Now, the Five of Pentacles is a fascinating card. I kind of love it, despite the fact that it's somewhat miserable. Like all the fives and all the pips, they do give you that sense of what may happen if you lack discipline, or some sort of breakdown of structure. And we are in the Suit of Pentacles, so we're dealing with earthly things, which usually pertain to money, possessions, health, anything that's tangible and real. So we've got the Rider-Waite-Smith here, which the Five of Pentacles I find is one of those cards where it doesn't matter what deck you get, the hidden, the underlying meaning is kind of similar across most decks. Not all, but most. And the imagery is often quite similar as well. Looking at the Rider-Waite here, there's a few things that you instantly pick up on. First of all, it's cold and snowy, which is probably why I'm doing the Five of Pentacles today, because at the moment it's snowing forever. So there you go. But yeah, you have these two images. The belief is that you have a woman and a man. Some people feel it could be a woman and her son, or etc., etc. But I'll go with woman and a man, and they're clearly in rags. They're clearly beraggled. The man is ill in some way. He's got a bandaged foot. He's on crutches. You could even argue he's got a bandaged head. Yeah, their clothes are in tatters. It's a cold night. I presume it's a night. You have this church, possibly a church. We have this stained glass window where you get these vibrant colours coming through. Yeah, and some of the keywords that are associated with the Five of Pentacles are, I think poverty is the one that comes up most. Poverty, disappointment, loss, lack, restriction, disorder, setbacks, insecurity, neglect, hardship, homelessness, and sometimes lost souls as well. And the one word that I always get from it, and it is the word that the Thoth deck pertains to, is worry. So you have the influence of worry. Now, as I said, quite a lot of cards do use the same imagery as the Rider-Waite-Smith, and I'd like to go through some of those right now, if that's okay with you. Well, you know, I'm making this video, so here's the Fountain. Again, you have it's snowing. It's snowy. You've got that church. The Fountain uses coins instead of pentacles, but you still have them in the window. I think in the Fountain book it describes it as precious misfortune, which is interesting. It kind of gives you that idea that perhaps we have to get down and out. We have to hit rock bottom every now and then to realise, you know, the value of things. What else have we got here? So this is the dreaming. No, this is not the dreaming way. This is the Mystic Dreamer one. Mystic Dreamer deck. Again, you have that church. You have the two figures as well. And I think, in the Fountain, it looks like a mother and a child. It could very well be the mother and a child in the Mystic Dreamer. But again, they're outside a church, church or cathedral, and I think that is important. A lot of the imagery is important. Shadowscapes, similar sort of thing. And now the shadowscapes for me, I think can be a little short on the symbolism, but I don't agree with that on this card. I think it kind of nails it. Again, you have a stained glass window. You've got this character down the bottom there who's clearly unhappy. You've even got a bush of thorns there as well. Prickly. And the Deviant Moon. The Deviant Moon also uses the church image with the stained glass window. Now in the Deviant Moon book, it describes it as a woman of ill repute that's trying to find sanctuary in this sort of industrial, steampunky almost cityscape. And she's coming past the church again. Very ominous looking eye checking her out. Now, just as a little tangent, if you read into the history of tarot, pre Rider-Waite, the Five of Pentacles pertain to marriage and or a mistress, and I think that mistress could possibly be that influence of worry. But obviously the Rider-Waite came along and turned the world of tarot on its head and gave us all these images and symbolism, which a lot of contemporary decks do pick up on. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that because this is a 5, and the 5 in the major arcana relates to the Hierophant, which does give that sort of religious influence, that influence of discipline and structure. And the 5s in the minors do kind of break that structure down. So yeah, the Five of Pentacles and worry. I'm going to be coming back to these cards because I do think these it's a really arresting image. The whole church and stained glass window, and I think one of the points of the 5 of do you know what, I'm getting ahead of myself, so I'm going to shut up. So yeah, I'm going to look at a few decks here. The first one I'm going to look at is the Wild Unknown. It's, again, the Wild Unknown's a beautiful, beautiful deck, and you get that sense of, oh no, my rose is wilting. You also got, I don't know, rain, sleet. And you've got that cold and the falling petal here. It's a heartbreaking card. But yeah, it does indeed go along with the Rider-Waite, that sense of loss, sadness, indeed. We do love the Wild Unknown. Let's go back to the Thoth here. So the Thoth, completely different imagery. The Golden Dawn. The Golden Dawn understanding of the tarot does predate the Rider-Waite, so the influence you see, and I might as well show you a version of the Golden Dawn. This is Israel Regardie's descriptions, and they're kind of similar. But the Thoth deck, it's an interesting card. You got your worry here. You got your influence of Mercury and Taurus. You have these 5 big discs that are kind of interlocked, but they're also kind of ruined. You know, they've got these dents in them. There's a lot of stress going on there. These 5 things here relate to the Indian tattvas. Now, I'll be perfectly honest with you, I don't know why they're there. It's possibly just because they're points on the inverted pentagram. That's that number 5. I don't know. And you have these dark colours on this sort of vivid reddy orange background. The Thoth deck always throws you these striking images, and I'm going to keep bouncing back to that. This Ritual Golden Dawn deck, it's kind of similar. Here you have Mercury again. Here you have Taurus again. Material trouble. So yeah, I'll talk about the astrological influences now. So you have Mercury in Taurus. Mercury can also pertain to the Magician. Again, we're going back to that kind of almost religious discipline bit. And the Thoth deck also gives you an idea in the Book of Thoth, in Aleister Crowley's Book of Thoth. He says if the 5 of Pentacles is well dignified, meaning that, you know, if it turns up in a spread and it's got a positive bent to it, then it could mean to labour and to building, to cultivating things, which is probably the first positive spin I've mentioned about the 5 of Pentacles. From the Kabbalah point of view, the 5s pertain to the Seraphim of Gabriel. I don't know if I'm pronouncing these right. whatever. Again, the number 5 does give you that sense of stress, that sense of testing you. Okay, I'm going to move on now. I'm going to move on. Put the Rider-Waite back there. So yeah. For most of these decks, you still get that similar sort of thing. That the Five of Pentacles gives you that idea that something is in need, that a sense of humility is required to be released from worry. Perhaps you've got these people that are down and out. There are a few decks that do have a slightly different bent to it, and I'll go through some of these now. So the Wildwood, here's the Wildwood. The Five of Stones. Again, you get that sense of but the word that pertains to it is endurance. So the idea behind this one is, again, you've been tested, but you must stick with it. You've got to endure. You've got to weather this storm. It's huge lightning here, and the only way is up. I think is the sense that the wild unknown gives you. Talk about the Night Sun now. A dark card. We're pertaining to Earth. There's your Mercury and Taurus influence again. I'm going to try and get close to those 5 coins that are being offered. There's a pentagram behind it. This is probably the most oblique card of my sort of weak collection here. It's going to be much harder to intuitively take that sense of worry from this card. So maybe that sense of worry is not something the Night Sun's worried about. Of course, you've got this figure here that's offering you something. It's like, hey, take a look at this. So you're getting that sense of, I don't want to say this word, you're getting that sense of hope here. I may come back to that. Following straight on from the Night Sun, Fabio Lestrani's other deck, the Santa Muerte. Now, it's an alarming image. You have these 5 green skulls and a bed of skulls. It's probably the most alarming image. However, the little white book that comes with the Santa Muerte, again, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, is much more positive. It says something along the lines of step by step, we're getting closer to our goal, which is a lovely image, really. Is that, again, you're getting that sort of sense of endurance, of perseverance, and yeah, it pertains to Earth, and the Santa Muerte deck, when it comes to Earth things, it focuses on feet and legs, which is why you've got this image of somebody walking, and he's walking away from us as well. So away from the pain, that harrowing image that you see, and onto better things, I hope. It's fascinating. And I think that's why the Five of Pentacles really strikes a chord with me, because you do have this somewhat horrid image. You do have this sense of worry and hopelessness, but there is hope. In the Rider-Waite, I always find it important that this guy here is looking up, and he's like, oh, hey, check it out. No, we're at a church. Churches, temples, cathedrals are known for their charity. And I do think the Five of Pentacles kind of respects the fact that you've gone through hard times, and you should be opening yourself to the fact that help is out there. You may have to ask for it. You may have to swallow your pride a little bit. But it is there if you want to look for it, or if you just want to accept it. So the Five of Pentacles, I do believe, is ultimately a hopeful card. It recognises the fact that you've gone through a hard time, but hope is there. If I was to go back to Shadowscapes, even the thorns at the bottom there are blossoming flowers. All this character here needs to look up and see the vivid colours of the stained glass window. Yeah, so I do believe, I mean, for me personally, the Five of Pentacles came up in a reading a while ago when I was worried about money, and it was all I thought about. And that's probably why this card strikes me so much, because it does recognise the fact that things have been bad, but there is always hope. There is always hope. So I'm kind of, the Night Sun, I kind of think that this figure is offering you help, which is nice of him. So yeah, that's the Five of Pentacles. Now, there's always one deck that throws a spanner in the works. So I want to talk about the Archeon here. So here's the Archeon, the Five of Pentacles, which aren't so much pentacles, more discs. And you have this woman here. She's looking. I mean, the Archeon does kind of encourage you to intuitively read the cards more, I think. Excuse me. And yet, it kind of throws a spanner in the works in that the book that comes with it describes the Five of Pentacles as rest, relaxation, meditation, relief, vacation, sweetness, sincerity, and serenity. And I don't know, whoever wrote it, I think they might be messing with us. I get that sense anyway, because this woman here, I mean, for a start, she's blue. She's actually blue. So either she's so cold that she's on the verge of hypothermia, or she's just sad. She's just a bit unhappy. Having said that, she is an angelic figure, and she is sort of looking. She doesn't look worried, to be perfectly fair. So, yeah, for me, the Archeon Five of Pentacles is a little bit confusing. But hey, it's fine. That's fine. Obviously, as you already know, if the Five of Pentacles comes up in a spread, it all depends on the context of the card lies within the spread. So, you know, what becomes before it and what comes after it. But it is a card that does ask of you not just your knowledge of what the card means, but your intuition and how it sort of fits in with everything else. So I think that's everything I need to say about the Five of Pentacles. It is a very arresting card. It is a very profound and powerful card. And although the fact that it's one of the cards that's seen as, you know, it comes up and people are like, oh no, I'm worried now. I think it is a very helpful card as well. Always hold on to hope, I think. Always look for hope. Okay. Thanks for watching. Feel free to put your interpretation of the Five of Pentacles in the comments. As always, blessed be.